Hey guys, I hope you're well. So in this video, we're going to talk about startup ideas in the law tech or legal tech industry. And so the tide has changed. Back in the days when our parents would practice, or I mean, even when Charlie Munger would practice, there was always a disdain for technology in the legal field, so in law firms. And this stemmed from the fact that as lawyers got more efficient, that would mean they would take less time in preparing documents, and then less billable hours, and then obviously less money when it comes to billing clients. So there was always a hesitation to adopting legal technology. But I think what most law firms have realized is now, because of the influx of legal work, and as you know, so many new fields are popping up, there's just too much work to be inefficient. So we're talking about aerospace, drone technology, AI, blockchain. There's so many new fields. And so the law has expanded. And as a result, lawyers are faced with the reality that they have to expand in order to survive. So basically, if you want to know something which is really interesting, here's a chart on revenue, total revenue every year for the legal tech industry and why it should be your focus if you want to start. So as you can see, we're in 2021, and that's 27.6 billion, and it's projected to increase 4% every year until 2027. Well, that's the projection deadline, which is 35.6 billion. So that's a 4% increase, right? And that's a hell of a lot of money. And you may think to yourself, well, this is a pretty small industry compared to other things. Why shouldn't I focus on, say, blockchain or Web3, which is it would fall in the field of law tech, right? For example, there's a project I was working on. We were basically trying to draft, and I'll share it with you guys. We're trying to draft wills onto the blockchain, so there'll be more self-executing, right? So more of like a self-executing probate or estates distribution. Just a rough idea to get an idea of what kind of influence blockchain would have on succession law and obviously banking that's as a result of that succession. So this is just basically a chart. And then what I've done, and this will shock you. So I've basically compiled a spreadsheet and I've listed on this first column, I have listed all the company names and then what sector of the law tech industry they operate in, and then the year founded, and then a description, and then the money raised. You'll be shocked to know that what you think doesn't pay actually really does pay, and they've raised a hell of a lot of money. So as you can see here, 1998, the most that was, that you could actually raise in those days were like 5 million, 9 million, 3 million. And then there was a boom. I don't know if you noticed this. Online legal services have raked in well over 200 million, right? Rocket Lawyers, it pretty much does exactly, well, it's quite similar to that other legal services, Legal Zoom, right? So if you're aware of Legal Zoom, it's sort of similar to that, but it also has case management software and things like that. So if you want this spreadsheet, I can forward it to you. You just comment in the YouTube, then I'll just give you or I'll just leave my email address. You can shoot me an email or drop your email address, and I'll send it to you. And so basically, you get a rough understanding of which sectors in the legal sector, in the legal law tech sector, are raking in big bucks, right? Yeah, so some of them do poorly. And so this is just to give you some guidance and some idea. You don't necessarily have to create something new. And I think that's where people really they miss the mark. They think that they have to create something new. I mean, like companies who just do what other companies have done do really well. Facebook wasn't the first social network. Um, Tumblr and Bumble, as the way as it goes, they're always these secondary businesses, and they tend to do way better than the first ones. I was shocked to know that like practice management softwares don't make as much money as things like criminal justice or increasing access to legal services. I was really shocked. So social justice and legal justice software actually does rake in a lot of money. And contrary to my opinion, yeah, practice management software, which is what I wanted to do initially, I see that I'll be starving, so I'm not going to do that. As you can see, it's nothing. I mean, the only like Clio is an outlier. Let's be honest, Clio is an outlier. It's an excellent service. Most lawyers use it. They use it with like QuickBooks or lawyer for document automation, and it's amazing. That's why I think these other ones have failed, and I also think it's because Clio started in 2008, so all these other companies didn't improve on Clio, and I think that's why they failed to compete. E-discovery, don't be discouraged by these three figures. E-discovery is actually like really, really big, as you can see. This one here, Everlaw, has raised 315 million. So I wouldn't be hesitant to get into that field. I was also quite shocked that it can pull in big figures like this. As you can see, e-discovery is pretty big. IP software, I thought this would be big, but it turns out I'm wrong. Online legal services. So these are like, alternatives to getting a lawyer. When you want legal counsel, you want standard legal documents that you don't want to pay a lawyer to draft. That's what online legal services are. It's basically like a online lawyer. That's the whole sense of it. I think they're doing pretty well. I won't lie. It's very popular, to be honest. As you can see, most of it is now online legal services. Rocket Lawyer has raised a whopping 220 million, which is a lot. So if you want access to this, just drop your email address and I'll send it to you. Thanks again, guys.